The Niners defense has been very good this year with a couple of bad games. 2 big losses, though. Emmanuel Moseley, who's not coming back, and Arik Armstead, who may come back eventually, but he still isn't practicing. He's got plantar fasciitis on one foot and like a hairline fracture in his ankle on the other leg. Which loss do you think has had a bigger impact on the Niners defense so far?
I think Arik Armstead for a couple of reasons. One, because of his versatility, but the one thing that you don't want is to have an open playbook for these offenses, right? So you look at the 49ers against the Kansas City Chiefs. 49ers were just so off balance. They couldn't really stop the run like that. They couldn't really stop the throws like that. They were just all over, or just the threat of runs. Or, all right, it might not be, and when I say runs, a run really can be considered as anything behind the line of scrimmage, even though technically it could be a pass. But you have a shovel pass, if you have a screen, those are essentially long handoffs, right? So they did a lot of that, stretching the 49ers sideline to sideline.
Yeah.
And the 49ers were extremely off balance. But when you can say, you know what, we got our big guy in here, he's athletic, there's different things he can do where he can affect a play, even if he's not necessarily making the tackle, but if he pushes upfield and makes the guy have to change his angle, well, that makes all the difference in the world. And I think you miss those little subtle plays and things that Arik Armstead does that might not show up in the stat sheet, as well as just his ability to potentially get a sack as well. Even though he's never been like a high sack guy outside of the 1 year next to Buckner before Buckner left. But overall, you can see just some freakish things he does, and you are missing that. You have some guys that play well, right? Like Givens and some of these guys can, Ridgeway, they can play well in short stints. Right. But as far as what you did with Arik Armstead, being able to play him outside as an elephant in when, you talked about teams going to more too high. Look, well, if you're going to go to too high, that means you got one less guy in the box. Well, how do you
Someone has two gap. Someone has a two gap.
Come back that. Well, you need a guy on the edge that can be really stout versus the run. So you don't have to have that extra guy. Well, you kind of lose that versatility as well. So I think it's him because without him, teams they just have essentially kind of I look at it as like a two-way go. You have a receiver running at you, you're a safety, he can go right, he can go left, and you're like, damn, what do I do? That's kind of the defense without Arik Armstead.
I hear you. Let me make the argument for Emmanuel Moseley, although you made a really good case. The Niners' run defense is unquestionably worse without Arik Armstead. It's documented. It's statistical fact. But I don't feel like the Niners' run defense is really what's getting them beat. I feel like what was going on in Atlanta, they ran the ball relentlessly. They ran the ball 40 times, but it was just like 4 yards they didn't get any explosive runs. Right. They just kind of wore
the quarterback's run. But,
quarterback runs. Yes, but they were just kind of wearing the Niners' backups down. I think what was crazy is the Niners, Mariota completed 13 of 14 in that game. There was no resistance in the air, no pass breakups, nothing. Just a lot of playing off and you complete the catch and let's rally and make the tackle. And then the next week against Mahomes, a lot of the same stuff. And then the first half against the Rams, a lot of that. It was Stafford was 17 to 21. And that to me was all D'Amico being like, oh man, I don't trust Lenore and I don't really want to play press man with him. And all of a sudden you're playing all this soft coverage and you're getting kind of just diced up on short stuff. And all of a sudden, he figured out against the Rams, Skoranic's not going to hurt me. Allen Robinson's not going to hurt me. Yeah, let's actually play aggressive. And then they shut him down in the second half. So I feel like when he had Moseley, you could play press on both sides. And you could your pass rush could really ruin the game because they had extra time to get to the quarterback. The quarterback had to pat the ball. You were getting coverage sacks. You're getting more turnovers. Now, if all these quick throws are available, that takes the pass rush out of the game. I don't know. It's like a ripple effect. And I think it comes back to how D'Amico feels about the backup corners.
Well, I'd say they played better for most of the season, right? You mentioned 2 games, and I think those are the only 2 games where you look at the 49ers secondary and be like, man, they were in the issue in these games, right?
That's true.
They didn't have Moseley against the Broncos, right? They only gave up 9 points.
Yeah, they did. Did they not?
Wait, when did Moseley go down? Oh, Panthers.
Carolina.
Panthers. All right, hold on. Let me rewind my train of thought then, because I'm thinking of Verrett. I got Verrett in my head because we talked about him before, and he got hurt first game last season.
Right.
But
they've played without Moseley in the past. He's gotten hurt in the past. I just thought he was playing I thought he was playing on a different level. I thought he'd taken his game up to a new level this year. I thought he did. I thought he was playing better than Charvarius Ward. But Charvarius Ward's playing really well.
Charvarius Ward is playing really well. I think the thing with with Moseley that I want to see is string together multiple good years, because that's kind of been the big thing, right?
That's
you look
true.
at when he came in for Witherspoon, it's like, man, finished the season strong, and then the next year got a little weird. I think in the first game against DeAndre Hopkins, gave up like 14 catches, which is crazy. Then the next year he plays well. Then he deals with injuries, and then this year he starts off well, and you're like, oh man, this is the year.
Yeah.
And now he suffers another injury. So
it sucks because he was like the defensive version of Ayuk in the offseason. There every day. And frankly, as well as Ayuk played, Moseley played better. One-on-one, Moseley got the best. He's just a little skinny. And I don't know, maybe it was bad luck what happened on that turf. It felt like bad luck what happened on that turf. I feel bad for him. He was in line to get paid, and I don't know if he will. Another guy who's a free agent coming up. I don't know if he'll be on this team next year, although maybe this injury will keep him in the Niners price range.
Right.
Which is a messed up
sucks
thing
for
think.
him.
Sucks for him, dude.
Jeffrey, I mean, he's going to be pushing
hell yeah, double digits, something.
13, 14
13
million.
Just like Shavarius Ward.